Hi there, I'm Georgie with Move to Vitality. We're going to go through a little lesson that I absolutely love, where we are giving ourselves a hug and we are unlocking unnecessary tension throughout our torso. And this can feel like a bit of a self-massage, which is just fabulous. Let's lie on our backs. So as with all lessons, we start in line with a quick scan, sensing our relationship with the ground, establishing some observations about ourselves, our tendencies, before we start the lesson, before we start the movement. So we've got something to compare with at the end. All right. So I'm just lying here. You can close your eyes if you so choose. I'm just checking in with my sense of contact. Where am I lying heavily? Where am I lying really lightly? And in fact, so lightly that I might actually be a little lifted away from the floor. So in the scan, we're just observing what is. We're not making changes to anything. The movement explorations are where we're making the changes, and we will observe those when we come back to this at the end. All right, so I've been sensing my contact with my through the back of my pelvis with the floor and the backs of my shoulders. And I'm just noticing the ease of my breathing. And one more thing I'm going to do is roll my head gently side to side, just to sense what's the freedom in my neck like before I start. All right, then I bring my feet up to standing. Weight-bearing feet about hip-width apart, so knees ideally are over at my ankles. And then I'm going to give myself a big hug. So with the hug, I'm holding underneath my armpits, around my shoulders, perhaps to the backs of my shoulders if I can reach there, and my elbows are resting on my torso. And I'm going to stabilize my pelvis. I'm not going to move my pelvis or my knees. I'm going to roll my torso and my head from side to side. And my hands are hugging. So my hands can actually help with the movement through my torso. One hand helps to lift one shoulder, lifting one shoulder and then the other through this hugging. So it's a hug and it's a rolling or a turning. So I am deliberately stabilizing my pelvis and knees at the moment to invite movement through my torso, through areas that may not easily move much, that are harder to access. And I'm letting my head follow the movement. And I'm only going as far as I can move comfortably. So it may be a tiny distance initially. My hands are helping with the turning, just gently, and I'm breathing throughout. So it's interesting, you can then start exploring the height of your elbows. So if I drape my elbows a little higher and continue the process, and I'm actually mobilizing parts of my spine a little higher than I may have been before, just gently, easily. And then if I move my elbows down a little more, then I'm accessing slightly lower through my spine. And the more I do this gently, easily, fairly slowly, the more I feel like I'm starting to release tightness through the back of my shoulder area, through my mid-back area, even up into my neck. So So you can do that, undo, lie there and observe how that now feels. And then it's really fun to hug yourself the non-habitual way. So initially my left arm was on top, so I'm now going to swap to have my right arm on top. And I'm going to firstly just lie here and observe how that feels. It may feel quite different in the way I organise myself to lie here. And then I'm going to resume this same process of hugging and turning, stabilising my pelvis and knees, because I'm deliberately wanting to invite movement through areas of my spine that may not be as mobile. Allowing my head to roll with, and I can change the angles of my elbows, still hugging, gently hugging, breathing. And already I feel like things are loosening, softening. So undo, slide my legs down. Revisit my relationship with the ground, my sense of contact through my shoulders, backs of my ribs, my pelvis. And notice the impact it's had on my breathing, whether it's got a little easier, fuller, freer. So self-hug, turning. So what's this wonderful for? Goodness me, it's wonderful for many different things. It is beautiful for releasing shoulder and maybe even neck tension and loosening up through these areas that are often hard to touch. But then what's really interesting is when you stand up, or I'm just sitting for the moment, or kneeling I should say, if I kneel up and there, well I'll kneel right up actually, and then I go to turn to look over my shoulder. Goodness, the turning is so much easier because I've freed my shoulders, I've freed through my torso, and I'm using more of myself in turning. So not only is this a beautiful lesson for self-care, some self-massage and softening, but it also helps with being able to turn more easily. So imagine doing this and then getting in the car and going for a long drive and turning to look over your shoulder as you're driving. What a great way to start a long haul journey. Thank you.